Part 13. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 123. Snake, Snake King, help, he Tian panted. She didn't know where she ran, but she could vaguely feel that her physical strength was about to run out. But why were the two big wild boars at the back staring at her? Niangzipai. She is not a sow. If you want to find a wife, go find a sexy big sow. The Snake King in the barrier space had seen enough jokes. Tianation's physical strength had exceeded the previous limit. It was a blessing in disguise. He finally said lazily, just keep running in this direction. Hearing the Snake King's prompt, Tian almost wanted to cry. You can't take action earlier. Don't you just take action? Why are you still running forward? Tian asked out of breath, why are you letting her run? Do you want to use her to lead two big wild boars in front and tire them out? However, she could swear to Grandpa M that she would die of exhaustion before the wild boar died of exhaustion. The Snake King scanned the surroundings with his consciousness, and his eyes flashed with amusement, or a mischievous look. Run forward, keep running forward, don't change direction, the Snake King said lazily. It turns out that playing tricks on people is so fun. Tian was dressed roughly and kept running forward, turning his head from time to look at the two big wild boars behind him. Damn it! Still chasing. I'm almost exhausted. Run. Sweat flowed into Tianation's eyes, and he could hardly open them. Fortunately, the front was flat, so even if he couldn't see the front clearly, he wouldn't fall. Hurry up! Snake King kept urging, looking at Tianation's braids swinging in the air, laughing silently. A little girl's movie will make you secretly laugh at me. This is a small punishment for you. Tian was still running forward like a panicked little rabbit. Suddenly, my feet felt as if they were on empty ground, soft, as if I were stepping on empty cotton, and there was a whistling wind in my ears. Tian quickly rolled up her sleeves and wiped her eyes. She looked around and saw only the mountains nearby and the clouds in the distance. As soon as he lowered his head, Tian was almost scared to death. Her feet were fluttering rapidly in the air. Looking further down, there is actually a crack more than 10 meters deep. Oh my mother! Tian rolled her eyes and was about to faint. Don't pretend to be dead, you can't fall, Snake King gloated, look behind you quickly. Can't fall? Tian ignored her fear, opened her eyes, stretched out her arms and scratched, her legs fluttering. Why? Unexpectedly, I really couldn't fall down and kept hanging in the air. Can I fly? Just when Tian was so excited about being able to fly, she completely forgot that there were two big wild boars chasing after her. Bang! Tian was stunned and looked along the sound. Before I could react, there was another sound. Bang! Two big wild boars fell down. Tian could see with his naked eyes that the bodies of the two big wild boars twitched irregularly a few times and then stopped moving. You fell to death like that? Tian opened her eyes wide and couldn't believe it. You're still alive like this, Snake King said arrogantly, how can I fail to succeed if I take action? It was okay if the Snake King didn't say this, but Tian became angry when he said this. These two big wild boars obviously fell into the crack by themselves, so you didn't take any action at all, okay? As a human being, as a snake, you have to be kind. Tian pinched the waist accuses the Snake King, telling lies with open eyes, and taking all the credit on himself. The Snake King raised his slender neck and asked arrogantly, if I hadn't used my magic power to allow you to hang in the air, you would be the one who fell now. You would also be the one who fell to death. Tian was stunned and looked at the void at her feet. She had no choice but to swallow the accusation on her lips. She was worried that if she said it, the Snake King would let her fall. I am a fisherman and a fisherman. Know the current situation and become a hero. Don't argue with it as a snake. But you said you were going to help me catch those two pigs, He Tian muttered. Look at me, I'm covered in sweat, my legs are weak, I'm almost exhausted. The Snake King gave He Tian a you think I'm a fool look, looked at He Tian with disdain and said, I am also doing this to save mana. The mana I cultivate is not easy, so I can't waste it casually. You can't 90 pounds, those two pigs are 500 pounds. The mana required to control your body is only 1/5 of that of those two pigs. Why should I bother to control two pigs? He Tian couldn't help but smile after hearing this. I wish I could bite my teeth into pieces with a mouthful of millet. He Tian equal 1/5 two big wild boars. You are too much, He Tian complained. This comparison made her particularly unhappy. Okay, if you don't go find the two people behind, these two big fat pigs will become food for other animals. Then your work will really be in vain, the Snake King said lazily with a smile. He pinched 7 inches of He Tian. Yes, what's the use of talking about this now? Anyway, the wild boar is dead and the prey is captured. As for the annoying Snake King, He Tian decided to ignore it for the time being. He Tian pouted, and swam with her slender arms in the air towards the edge of the crack in the mountain. He Tian looked around, recognized the surrounding locations, and walked back. Wrong, turn right. Seeing that He Tian was angry, the Snake King suddenly felt that he had done something wrong and scared He Tian. His conscience reminded him kindly. He Tian walked to the right and said nothing. They are 3 miles away from you, go forward. Seeing that He Tian still didn't speak, the Snake King reminded him again. He Tian kept walking forward. She would not talk to the Snake King for 3 days. Humph, the Snake King became more arrogant and ignored me. I am not happy to talk to you, a stinky girl. The Snake King entered the barrier directly, and He Tian could not receive the message from the Snake King. Zoli and Xiangrong, who were former scouts, chased after the wild boar based on the traces left by it. Uncle Zo, Uncle Xiang, I'm here. The two pigs fell into the crack below and died. Let's go and get the wild boars back. He Tian stood on a stone and faced dozens of meters. Two people outside yelled. Zoli and Xiangrong quickened their pace and ran to He Tian. They were relieved to see that He Tian was sweating a lot but not injured. It's good that you're fine. If something happens to you, it won't be easy for us to explain when we go back. Zoli said, those two big wild boars are also strange. They have been chasing you from behind. The second basic update is here. Sweet babies are so cute. If you like sweet babies, don't forget to vote. Quanding VIP Book Club Group, 3-3-3-3-1-2-5-7-4, with extra benefits from time to time. No threshold fan base, 5-4-1-1-1-4-4-7-2-8. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 124. Chapter 124, Let the Guilt Come More Violently. Monthly ticket 580 plus. It's a great harvest this time. He Tian smiled, raised her chin, and said, those two big wild boars are already our prey. Follow me, right in front. Oh, awesome, Xiangrong gave a thumbs up. They brought ropes and hatchets with them. The two of them followed He Tian to the crack in the mountain. The surrounding area was flat. The surface of the crack was 5 to 6 meters wide and about 10 meters deep. The rope is long enough and can be pulled up. Let's go down first and tie the rope to the wild boar, Zoli said, going down the edge of the crack. Although it was steep, there were rocks on the side that could be used to step on, grab onto, and stand on the left. Xiangrong went down smoothly. Tie it up with a rope, Zoli climbs up, and Xiangrong is dragged underneath. He Tian also came over, stood behind Zhou, and said, "Uncle Zhou, let me help you." "No, you can rest on the side," Zhou said with a smile, thinking that He Tian, a little girl, shouldn't have much strength. "Let's try. If possible, this will save Uncle Xiang from climbing up from below and having to climb down later," He Tian insisted. She was very strong. The more people who knew about this matter, the better. In the future, if she does something shocking, these people should be mentally prepared. "Haha," Zhou said with a smile, "Okay, I'll say 1, 2, 3 and pull hard." "Okay," He Tian agreed. "It's ready, you can pull it up," Xiangrong shouted from below. The wild boars are very big, each one is estimated to weigh more than 250 kilograms. 1, 2, 3, Zhou shouted. He Tian mustered up her strength and pulled hard, but it was still heavy. But it went smoothly. The two of them worked together and finally pulled up a big wild boar after 3 minutes. When pulling the second big wild boar, the big wild boar left the ground. Xiangrong quickly climbed up from the crack, stood behind He Tian, and pulled the rope together. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. There is strength in numbers, so I went faster this time and finished it in 2 minutes. The three people sat on the ground to rest, breathing heavily. "These two big wild boars are so big that the three of us can't carry them," He Tian said with a bitter face. She couldn't use the enchantment space even if Zhou and Xiangrong were not around. A little girl carrying two big wild boars must be scary to death. Xiangrong thought for a while and said, "Sweet girl, hurry down the mountain, go to the village and ask a few more people to come up, get some thin ropes, we will tie up a few frames and drag them away." He Tian nodded and said, "Okay, I'll run fast and I'll go down the mountain. By the way, there is blood on the wild boar. Please be careful and don't attract other beasts." Zhou smiled and took out a bag of green hay foam from his trouser pocket. It was very pungent. He showed it to everyone and said, "With this thing, no matter how fierce the animal is, it will not come here." He Tian suddenly realized that she finally understood that the two big wild boars were only chasing her and not Zhou and Xiangrong. It turned out to be the reason. She seems to have mistakenly blamed the Snake King. She thought the Snake King had been playing tricks on her. After several months of walking up and down the mountain, He Tian had already developed 2 flying legs. He Tian was pretending to be something, and said in a guilty tone, "Gilo me." There was no movement, and the Snake King did not come out with a cry like before. The Snake King is angry. Not afraid, she just apologized. He Tian continued to chant, "Gilo me, gilo me. If you don't come out, just keep chanting." She felt bad for not apologizing to the Snake King. "What are you doing?" The Snake King shook his head and sounded very impatient. "Snake King, I'm sorry. I wrongly blamed you just now. The reason why those two big wild boars were chasing me was because Uncle Zhou and Uncle Xiang had a kind of medicinal powder on their bodies. Those animals did not dare to approach, so they turned around and chased me." He Tian explained, "I thought you were teasing me and making those two big wild boars chase me." "Yeah," the Snake King nodded, but he was actually snickering on the inside. "Ha ha ha, it really didn't want to play tricks on He Tian at first, but later it saw how interesting He Tian was being chased by the wild boar, so it released some of its magic power. However, it won't tell He Tian. Just let He Tian make mistakes and continue to feel guilty. Better let the guilt come harder. I'm sorry, please don't be angry, okay?" He Tian kept low and was a child. She didn't even know that her soft-heartedness had recurred. She was sold by the little silver snake and gave people money. "Seeing that you are still sincere, I, the king, will just accept the difficult task," the Snake King said impatiently. "I'm going to practice, don't disturb me." Yes, He Tian beamed when she saw the Snake King speaking. The Snake King was pretty good and stopped getting angry once he apologized. Arriving in the barrier space, the Snake King laughed loudly. Without the burden on his mind, He Tian moved faster and reached the bottom of the mountain in less than half an hour. Aunt Lu was about to go to the village. When she saw that He Tian was sweating profusely and had not brought back the bamboo basket, she quickly asked with concern, "Sweet girl, has something happened? Comrade Zhou, where are Comrade Xiang?" When other people heard Aunt Liu's words, they also came out one after another, worried that something had happened to Zhou Li and Xiang Rong. Only Old Man Bai, leisurely and at ease, was playing Go with Old Man Qi. However, the chessboard is very simple, with grids drawn on the ground. One of the chess pieces is made of wild apricot pits, and the other is made of wild jujube pits. He Tian gasped and said, "Go and tell village chief Qi that we shot 2 big wild boars on the mountain. They are too heavy to bring back. Ask him to quickly take people and tools and go up the mountain together to get the wild boars down." Ah, Aunt Lu was startled, and then she realized that it wasn't something bad, but something good had been shot. "Oh my, there are 2 big wild boars, I think one family can share 2 kilograms of meat." "Hurry up, Auntie, I can't run anymore, I have to thank you," He Tian urged. "If everyone does something worthy of credit, it can also make other people happy." "Hey, I'll go right away." Aunt Lu liked this kind of work, so she trotted towards the village without worrying about the pumpkin seeds she was eating. Over there, Secretary Qi was even more happy when he heard Aunt Liu's notice. During this period of time in the village, people are united, and it is just right to use these things to make everyone feel the benefits and importance of unity. Secretary Qi took the things and called Qi Ergu and 7 or 8 strong young men from the village to come to the livestock team. He Tian had already rested and took everyone to meet Zhou Li and Xiang Rong. Everyone had poles, stands, small ropes, machetes, hatchets and the like in their hands. The villagers were not as fast as Tian. It took them more than an hour to reach the crack in the mountain. When they saw 2 big wild boars on the ground, their eyes lit up. "The monthly ticket is 580 plus, keep asking for votes. Asterisk carrot. Carrot asterisk, hee. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 125. In these days, everyone is short of meat. Comrade Zhou and Comrade Xiangrong have done a good job. The 2 pigs are estimated to weigh more than 500 kilograms. Village Chief Qi was delighted. There were only more than 100 households in the village and each family could get 2 to 3 kilograms of meat. Zhou Li stepped forward and said humbly, "Secretary Qi's leadership is very good. We did not catch these 2 pigs. Comrade He Tian deserves the greatest credit. These 2 pigs chased Comrade He Tian and fell into a crack in the mountain. The 2 of us just went down to get the 2 pigs up, we didn't spend much effort." Zhou Li told the truth and was not greedy for merit. Everyone was shocked. While they admired Zhou Li for his honesty, they were also very curious about He Tian, a little girl. "Sweet girl, you've done a good job. I'll take credit of you 3 and give you some more pork later." Village Chief Qi laughed and said, "Everyone has remembered this. He Tian, Zhou Li, Xiang Rongsan, the 2 big wild boars caught by a comrade, made a contribution to our village. Yes, these 3 are really amazing. Not bad, very good." Everyone praised him one after another and swallowed unconsciously. Hearing everyone's words, He Tian was very happy and was not disappointed because she gave 2 big wild boars to the village. In this era, everything belongs to the collective and the common people. If you usually hunt pheasants, rabbits, and other small things in the mountains, you can count them as yours. Everyone turns a blind eye and closes one eye. It has become a custom. But these two big wild boars are no longer good and must be handed over to the collective. Zoli and Xiangrong had already cut down some arms-thick branches of different lengths. Everyone brought small ropes and tied the frame, and then several people tied the big wild boar to the frame. 4 people lifted one frame, which was not too heavy and was easy to walk. The remaining people, He Tian, Zoli, and Xiangrong, carried bamboo baskets filled with pine nuts on their backs. Originally, He Tian wanted to carry it by herself, but Chi Ergu beat him to it, saying, "Okay, you're such a small body, don't carry it anymore, I'll do it." Just when He Tian was about to retort, Zoli chuckled and said, "Don't underestimate sweet girl, her strength is no less than that of an average man. Usually when we carry grass down the mountain, Lao Xiang and I can't catch up with sweet girl." Chi Ergu gave a thumbs up and said, "Awesome, he is a hero among women." "Women should not let men down," Zoli agreed, but he was thinking about bringing He Tian with him when he goes hunting in the back mountains in the future. This girl is so lucky. Those grains can only eat half full, and they will starve to death. They are at the foot of the mountain and can go to the mountain to get something to eat. However, when they went out on their own, their harvest was very small. Unlike He Tian who went to the mountains with her, they usually didn't come back empty-handed and could always get something to bring back. Even though He Tian was a little thick-skinned, her face turned a little red after being praised. Those young guys looked at him straight-eyed and were embarrassed to look at it. The eyes of these people are very innocent, not like Chi Jiangguo's eyes that are full of desire and possession, evil and perverted. He Tian thought to herself that if possible, she hoped that Huo Yingji could come to Kijia village and tell the young men in the village that she had a partner. It's not that He Tian is narcissistic. She was already very beautiful in her previous life, otherwise she wouldn't have been attracted by Chi Jiangguo at a glance. In this life, with the help of the Snake King, He Tian's appearance is even better. Even without makeup, her fair skin, big eyes, long curled eyelashes, straight little nose, bright red mouth, and graceful figure all show her beauty. When they arrived at the foot of the mountain, Chi Ergu and 2 other bamboo baskets were placed in the livestock team and the wild boar was carried away. The contents of the baskets were not taken away and were left to individuals. "Not bad, not bad, tell me what's going on," old man Chi said excitedly. When he was young, he could only shoot wild boar with a shotgun. Unexpectedly, the 3 of them caught it with sickles and hatchets. Xiangrong told about their experience in the mountains, especially when he heard that He Tian was chased all over the mountain by a wild boar, which made Chi Xiaoyan laugh. "Sister Tian, you are so powerful, even a wild boar can't catch up with you," Chi Xiaoyan said with a smile. "I will never be able to do this in my life." "Don't talk about you, most people can't compare to He Tian," Professor Wang said. "Just tell me, I'll wash some more potatoes and stew meat for dinner." He Tian smiled and said, "It's time for me to go back. Grandma Chi will be worried about me if she is alone at home. Grandma Wang, Sister Tian, and I went back together and will bring you meat later," Chi Xiaoyan said. "With her here, she can help get more things, especially those big bones and ribs that others don't want. Take it and stew it in bone soup, which is very nourishing." "Okay, you go back," Professor Wang chuckled, becoming more and more satisfied with Chi Xiaoyan, his disciple. He Tian and Chi Xiaoyan went down the mountain together, talking and laughing. However, He Tian saw that Chi Xiaoyan's face was paler than ordinary people, and her lips were also very light, and she knew that Chi Xiaoyan's body was not as good as imagined. When she got the money, she took Chi Xiaoyan to a big hospital to check it out. When there is danger, Chi Xiaoyan rushes in front of her regardless of her own body. This is the first person besides her parents and Huo Yingji that He Tian treats her so lovingly. Therefore, He Tian cherishes Chi Xiaoyan as a good friend. Not only to improve Chi Xiaoyan's physical condition, but also to change Chi Xiao Yan's life so that this kind girl can have a good ending. Hey, Sister Tian Tian, look, is that Chi Fang Fang? Chi Xiao Yan pointed to a family of 3 walking not far ahead. They came back in time to share the meat. He Tian Tian raised her chin, squinted her eyes, and looked at Chi Fang Fang, who was more than 30 meters away, and Chi Fang Fang's mother and father. She did not see the insidious Chi Jiangguo. Didn't Chi Jiangguo also go to visit relatives? Why didn't you come back with me? Could it be that he was harboring bad intentions again and started a new round of conspiracy? Is this person finished? It should be so, He Tian Tian whispered, lowering her head, not wanting Chi Xiao Yan to see the disgust and hatred in her eyes. Then let's walk slower, I don't want to talk to Chi Fang Fang. Chi Xiao Yan muttered, her eldest brother is not a good person. If it weren't for Brother Dajin, Sister Lily would have told you in advance that this time, without you being prepared, it's probably going to be over this time. Yes, it's so dangerous, He Tian Tian said with emotion, Brother Dajin and Sister Lily are my benefactors, and I will repay them well in the future. Chi Xiao Yan smiled and said, you're welcome. You are my good friend. Brother Dajin will definitely help you. As for Sister Lily, you have to be more grateful. Chi Xiao Yan's tone was determined, as if she could make the decision for Niu Dajin. He Tian Tian had speculations in her mind before, but now she is even more curious after hearing Chi Xiao Yan's words. Is there really something going on between these two people? The first update is the basics, and the second update is at 12 o'clock. Asking for votes. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 126. Niu Dajin's character is obvious to all, and he is a person who can be trusted for life. Seeing that He Tian Tian was silent, Chi Xiao Yan turned her head and met He Tianatian's inquiring eyes. Suddenly her face became hot and she lowered her head in embarrassment. Haha, why are you blushing? I didn't ask anything, He Tian Tian smiled, Chi Xiao Yan like this is so cute. Not only did she smile, but she also stretched out her hand to scratch Chi Xiao Yan's little head. She has no younger sister. After getting along with Chi Xiao Yan, she unconsciously regarded this little girl as her younger sister. She liked to tease Chi Xiao Yan whenever she had nothing to do. Chi Xiao Yan loves tidiness the most, so she hurriedly avoided it, pouting and saying, Sister Tian Tian, your hair is messed up. Just smile, and you will laugh at me. I'm not laughing at you, you're just overthinking it. Besides, we are talking about Brother Dajin, why would I laugh at you? He Tian Tian spread his hands, pretending to be innocent, but in fact even a fool can see that He Tian Tian is not interested in drinking, but in gossiping about men and women. Chi Xiao Yan's face turned redder, but after a moment, she mustered up the courage to raise her head and asked, what do you think of Niu Dajin? A good man, very good, He Tian Tian replied, he is kind-hearted, honest, and loyal, and rarely has a very flexible mind. He also worked in the city, is agile, and has a formal job. If it weren't for me, I already have Brother Yingzhe. I want. Chi Xiao Yan was very happy when she heard He Tian Tian praising Chi Dajin earlier, but what she said next made her heart rise to her throat again. If Sister Tian Tian also falls in love with Niu Dajin, then she is not as good looking as Sister Tian Tian, nor as powerful as Sister Tian Tian, so she is probably out of business. Worrying in her heart and not looking good on her face, Chi Xiao Yan felt that she was useless and in a low mood. I almost want to be a matchmaker for him, He Tian Tian made a U-turn, surprising Chi Xiao Yan. Seeing He Tianatian's teasing eyes, Chi Xiao Yan immediately realized that Sister Tian Tian was teasing her, and stretched out her hand to scratch He Tianatian's squeaky nest. The little daughter's family said angrily, He Tian Tian, you are really bad. Ha ha ha, He Tian Tian smiled proudly, if you have something to say, you don't say it directly, And you also beat around the bush. I learned this from you. Haha, are you scared? No, Chi Xiaoyan refused to admit that she was really anxious just now. She was worried that Sister Tian Tian also fell in love with Niu Daijin and she would have no chance. Fortunately, Sister Tian Tian already has that Yingja brother. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. You are young, but Brother Daijin is not young. He is already 20. His family will definitely help, he Tian Tian said slowly. Such a good man should get it as soon as possible. Calm down. If you get noticed by others, you will regret it later. After hearing this, Chi Xiaoyan was lost for a moment, and said quietly, but Brother Daijin didn't say anything to me, and I was embarrassed to tell him not to go on a blind date. What? Niu Daijin has nothing to do with you. You really don't care who he meets, he Tian Tian said matter-of-factly, as if he didn't hear the anxiety in Chi Xiaoyan's words. He Tian Tian smiled inwardly, wanting to see Chi Xiaoyan's anxious look. Sister Tian Tian, Chi Xiaoyan accused, you know everything, but you are still laughing at me. If you do this again, I will ignore you. He Tian Tian looked surprised, waiting for her big innocent eyes to ask, you didn't say anything, what do I know? Chi Xiaoyan was stunned again. Yes, she didn't say anything. Sister Tian Tian can really pretend that she doesn't know anything. Chi Xiaoyan stopped talking and became even more depressed. He Tian Tian knew that Chi Xiaoyan was a thoughtful girl, who was not in good health, and had a bit of Lin Dai's temperament. What she just said might have made Chi Xiaoyan think too much. Xiaoyaner, what will Niu Daijin do to you? He Tian Tian stopped teasing Chi Xiaoyan and began to give advice to the little sister, hoping that Chi Xiaoyan would get her wish. Chi Xiaoyan lowered her head and said softly, Brother Daijin is very good to me, but he is also very good to other people. I don't know what to say. He Tian Tian asked again, then, do you feel that Brother Daijin has something special for you? During the few days when you returned to your hometown, Brother Daijin gave me a pair of very nice leather shoes. Isn't this special? Chi Xiaoyan said in a low voice. From that time on, she confirmed from the bottom of her heart that Niu Daijin was interested in her. However, Niu Daijin never said anything and treated her like a younger sister. Chi Xiaoyan couldn't figure out whether it was the previous interaction between the man and woman, or the relationship between brother and sister. A pair of nice-looking leather shoes, He Tian Tian was really surprised this time, that will cost Brother Daijin 10 days' salary, so I just bought it for you. Yes, Chi Xiaoyan nodded, I accepted those shoes, and my parents don't know yet. If my father knew, he would never let me accept them. I don't even know how to tell my family. But if I don't want it, Brother Daijin will be angry. He Tian Tian thought for a while and asked seriously, believe in your sixth sense. You mean Brother Daijin really has feelings for me? Chi Xiaoyan asked excitedly, isn't it? I'm not the only one with my random thoughts. He Tian Tian looked at this little girl who had just begun to have a love affair, and felt secretly happy, and continued, your family has a very good relationship with Niu Daijin's family. If it was just for the relationship between the two families, your brother or you would spend nearly 10 yuan. Want to buy a pair of leather shoes for Niu Daijin's sister? No, Chi Xiaoyan quickly shook her head, proving that neither she nor her second brother would do this. But Niu Daijin did it? What does this mean? You are so smart, but you don't understand, He Tian Tian asked back. In fact, Chi Xiaoyan was smart enough to sense it already, and she accepted what Niu Daijin sent her. The leather shoes have actually accepted the cattle army in a sense. However, Niu Daijin only sent things and did not express his love, which made Chi Xiaoyan unsure. Feminine reserve and shyness made Chi Xiaoyan speechless. Yes, no. Yes. Chi Xiaoyan's face turned redder and she stammered shyly. At this moment, I heard Chi Fang Fang in front of me, smiling, Brother Daijin, are you here to deliver the letter? As soon as they heard the words Brother Dajan, He Tian Tian and Chi Xiao Yan quickly followed the direction Chi Fang Fang was looking and looked to the left. It turned out that Niu Dajan's bicycle was parked in the woods at the entrance of the village, as if waiting for someone. I won't tell you what's going on inside Chi Fang Fang, but she's very familiar with her, smiles a lot when meeting people, and has a very lovable temperament. Especially those who don't know Chi Fang Fang and her family very well will think that this family is good. Second update arrived. 600 plus arrived at 6 p.m. Please vote. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 127. Chapter 127 The Concerns of Men and Women, 600 plus. Niu Dajan was stunned, but he was steady and calm, and he was especially cautious when in front of outsiders. Especially when he saw Chi Xiao Yan not far behind Chi Fang Fang, he did not show any signs of joy for fear of causing trouble to Chi Xiao Yan. No, village chief Chi asked me to buy some medicine for Xiao Yan, and I'll deliver it to you on the way, Niu Dajan said, standing up and not sitting on the stone by the roadside. Xiao Yan, hurry up, I want more going to other villages to deliver messages. He Tian Tian looked at Chi Xiao Yan and asked with a smile, Uncle Chi really asked him to buy it? Chi Xiao Yan blushed, shook her head, and walked over quickly. He Tian Tian followed closely. Haha, these two people are really interesting. Only then did Chi Fang Fang see Chi Xiao Yan behind her. He Tian Tian. Chi Fang Fang is a very smart little girl. When she saw that Chi Xiao Yan was not as pale as before, but instead had a rosy face, she asked with a smile, Sister Xiao Yan, why are you blushing? Haha, I left in a hurry, Chi Xiao Yan replied. This reason didn't seem to be very sufficient. Chi's mother's restless eyes were scanning Chi Xiao Yan and Niu Dajan. Very gossipy. This Chi's mother may not report Chi Xiao Yan or Niu Dajan, but that mouth talks nonsense and says some terrible things, so that's not necessarily the case. He Tian Tian didn't want Chi Xiao Yan and Niu Dajan to be criticized before they sorted out their own affairs. He added later, oh, I have made a great contribution today. Comrade Zhou and I went to the mountains to pick up wild goods with Comrade Xiang. I saw 2 big wild boars fell into the crevices of the mountain. The pigs have been carried to the village committee. Let's go quickly to see the pigs being killed and the meat divided. Big wild boar? Share the pork, Chi's mother's voice rose, as if she couldn't believe it. Ever since someone in the village was beaten by a wild boar, no one has gone hunting in the back mountains. The most important thing is that in the past, most of the things I caught were kept for my family, but now I can only have a little bit of the big wild boars, and the rest are shared among the whole village, so no one has been willing to do so for a long time. Going on an adventure to hunt, naturally there would be no wild boar meat to share. As for the pigs in the village, after handing in the task, 1 or 2 are slaughtered every year. Not many are distributed to each family, and it can only be during the Chinese New Year. It is difficult to eat some meat at ordinary times. Yes, that's why we ran in such a hurry to help, He Tian Tian said. Hurry up too, don't be late. Yeah, you have to walk faster, Fang Fang, don't wait any longer. Come home with me quickly and help together. Chi's mother was worried that if she went late, or if there were fewer people going, she would get less time. Like pork, he pulled Chi Fang Fang's arm and walked forward quickly. Chi Fang Fang wanted to say a few more words to stab Chi Xiao Yan, but her mother was very strong and had to follow. I'll come and play with you later, Chi Fang Fang said before leaving, reluctantly. If you go early, you won't be able to share more, if you go late, you won't be left with less. Chi Xiao Yan and He Tian Tian didn't answer. Brother Dajan, please don't leave because we are sharing pork today, Chi Xiao Yan urged him to stay. Stop standing here and go back with me quickly. No, I'll give you the things and I'll leave. Niu Dajan was a little embarrassed in front of He Tian Tian. He Tian Tian smiled and persuaded, go ahead, I have a lot of credit for catching 2 big wild boars. Secretary Chi said, I can get a lot of meat. I will cut it for you and Lily later. Sister, take it and eat it. No. No need. Niu Daijin was a little nervous and rubbed his hands dryly. If you don't come home with me for dinner, I won't take your medicine, and I'll give you back your leather shoes. Chi Xiaoyan said, dissatisfied. Whether it was leather shoes or medicine, she wanted money, but Niu Daijin refused, as if he was interested in her. But don't say it. It's annoying to be stuck like this. Sister Tian Tian analyzed some things for her today, and she wanted to ask them personally. Go, brother Daijin, he Tian Tian also advised him. Chi's mother had been darting around with her triangular eyes just now. If she couldn't make it clear as soon as possible, Chi Xiaoyan would definitely be criticized in the village in the future. Niu Daijin couldn't refuse, so he agreed. Excuse me, then you can take this medicine. I asked the doctor and he said that this is better than what you are taking now. You must take it according to what is written on it. Chi Xiaoyan took the medicine and turned her head slightly to look at He Tian Tian. Seeing that He Tian Tian didn't look over, he quickly stuffed it into his pocket. Niu Daijin was also embarrassed and opened his mouth to explain, but in the end he didn't say anything. Xiaoyan is young and may not understand his thoughts at all. He was afraid that Xiaoyan would reject him and that he would not be able to be friends in the future, nor would he be able to visit her every time he sent a letter. The 3 of them returned to the village together with their own concerns. Niu Daijin and Chi Xiaoyan went home together, and He Tian Tian returned to Chi San's grandma. Grandma Chi San heard that He Tian Tian actually went up the mountain to hunt, and that He Tian Tian was dirty, so she quickly asked worriedly, are you not injured? No, I run so fast that even the wild boar can't catch up with me, He Tian Tian said proudly. I'll get some pork soon, and I'll stew the braised pork for you. Haha, my teeth are bad and I can't bite anything. I'll leave it to you to eat, Grandma Chi San said, just give me some big bones and I'll make bone soup and drink it. We have to make bone soup and braised pork. I cook differently from the people in the village, so you must eat it smoothly. He Tian Tian smiled and said, that's a specialty of our Nanji, and it tastes particularly good. Grandma Chi San was not polite anymore and said with a smile, then I have to try it? This is my granddaughter's filial piety. That's right, you're right to think so. He Tian Tian poured the pine nuts in the bamboo basket on the ground to dry in the sun as he spoke. Oh, these are the best pine nuts, Grandma Chi San said, bring them over here, push them aside and dry them faster. When they are dry, I will fry them in a pot for you. They will be delicious. Very good. He Tian Tian especially liked eating these gadgets and said, okay, let's peel them together. We can't wait to eat them. Go, wash your hair, wash your face, change your clothes, be a pretty girl, and look like a beggar, Grandma Chi San urged. She loved cleanliness all her life, but she couldn't bear to see little girls being sloppy. He Tian Tian chuckled a few times, went to wash up and change clothes. By the time He Tian Tian changed her clothes and washed her hair, Grandma Chi San had already peeled off a big scoop. This one is very dry. I'll fry it for you right away, Grandma Chi San said. Put a towel on your head and come over and light the fire for me. Hey, He Tian Tian agreed readily and followed Grandma Chi San to the pot house. Every time Grandma Chi San makes snacks, He Tian Tian is full of praise. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 128. Grandma Chi San's skills are very good. It only takes a few minutes to stir fry over low heat, toss, and serve out. It's original, fragrant, and authentic, without adding any other seasonings. He Tian Tian grabbed a handful of pine nuts and kept chewing them like a little squirrel. Grandma Chi San had bad teeth, so she could only purse her mouth and keep squirming while chewing the fragrant pine nuts. After eating such delicious food, He Tian Tian thought of her parents at home, Huo Yingjia and Huo Yingjia's parents. It would be nice if I could send some to my parents and Huo Yingjia. Grandma Qi, I know there are still some on the mountain. I'll pick some more. Can you fry them for me? I want to mail some home, He Tian Tian whispered. They haven't eaten pine nuts yet. Okay, Grandma Qi-san said. After finishing this handful, I'll break up the rest and fry them together. Wrap them in a few more layers of oil paper so they won't become soft and can be stored for a long time. You can send it by mail, Grandma Qi-san said. This is a free thing on the mountain, and as long as He Tian Tian can get it, she can help fry it. That's really good, He Tian Tian smiled. After eating a handful, he began to deal with the remaining unpeeled pine nuts. In an era when supplies are scarce, having some snacks is also a kind of happiness. He Tian Tian has such happiness and wants to share it with her nearest and dearest. Dinner was cooked late today. Everyone was waiting to share the meat and went back to make dumplings or stew. They all took advantage of the meat to have a good meal. Meat days are like Chinese New Year. When it got dark, Chi Ergu personally delivered 20 kilograms of meat to He Tianation's home. He said with a smile, Secretary Chi said that between you and Comrade Xiang, Comrade Zhou has the greatest credit. I will give you 20 kilograms and give it to Zhou. Comrade, give me 15 kilograms each, and give third grandma 1 pound of meat. I also brought some big bones for third grandma to make soup. He Tian Tian thought that 10 pounds would be good, but she didn't expect that she could get 20 pounds. It was an unexpected surprise and she was very happy. Did I give too much? He Tian Tian said, embarrassed to accept it. Okay, this is what everyone agrees on. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't get any meat, Chi Ergu said. The distribution is very fair. It's based on head. Adults count as 1 share, and those under 12 years old counting half a caddy. Adults can get half a caddy, and every family has it, so no one says anything. After hearing Chi Ergu's explanation, He Tian Tian no longer refused and said, Thank you, second brother. Let's put it in the basin over there. Chi Ergu put the things away and said, Okay, I have to give it to Comrade Zhou of the animal husbandry team, Comrade Xiang. Let's go back first. Goodbye, second brother Chi, He Tian Tian said politely. Third grandma, Tian Tian, I'm leaving then. If you have any questions, just go to me or my mother. Brother Chi finished speaking and left in a hurry. When they left, He Tian Tian was overjoyed and said, Grandma Chi, we have a lot of meat. Haha, yes, I haven't seen so much meat in years. Grandma Chi-san said with a smile, it's because of the sweet girl. He Tian Tian carried the meat and went to the kitchen to cut 2 pieces. She thought that each piece weighed 3 kilograms and was tied with 2 small ropes. Grandma Chi, I have more than 20 kilograms of meat. I cut off 2 pieces. To Brother Dajan and Brother Dajan's cousin Lily, if they hadn't told me in advance that Chi Jianghua would report me, I would have been doomed. We should give it, Grandma Chi-san said. People are kind to us. If they have good things, we should give them some. By the way, the county seat is far away, so how can we send it there? Brother Dajan came here to deliver the letter, and Xiao Yan took him home for dinner. He Tian Tian said, I will deliver it early tomorrow morning and let Brother Dajan take it over. It's better to send it over at night. It's dark and no one will see it. In the morning, if you meet someone, they will think you gave it to Secretary Chi. Grandma Chi-san said, it's getting late now, let's make noodles with shredded pork and green vegetables, braised pork, and make dumplings tomorrow. Okay, He Tian Tian agreed. It happens that the green vegetables in our garden are ready to eat. Grandma Chi, you make the noodles, and I will pick the vegetables and roll the noodles when you come back. Grandma Chi is not strong enough, so she can only knead the noodles but has no energy to roll them out. He Tian went to the vegetable garden not far from the door and picked 2 handfuls of small green vegetables. After washing them, she cut half a catty of meat and made it into minced meat. This was also to make it easier for Grandma Chi-san to chew, and made a bowl of fragrant meat. Bolognese. After the dough woke up, He Tian began to roll the noodles into a round shape. Under the pressure of the long rolling pin, it turned into a thin piece of dough. He folded it in half a few times and cut it into half-finger-width noodles. Grandma Chi boiled the water, and He Tian put the noodles in the pot. After boiling the fire for a few times, she also threw in the vegetables. When the vegetables were cooked, the noodles were ready for the pot. He Tian found 2 large soup bowls at home, filled 2 large bowls of noodles, put some vegetables, then poured the minced meat sauce on it, stirred it, and a bowl of green vegetable minced meat noodles with full color, flavor was ready. Seeing that there was a lot of noodles in the bowl, Grandma Chi-san took out 2 chopsticks and gave it to He Tian and said, "I'm getting older and can't eat that much anymore. I feel uncomfortable eating at night." He Tian did not refuse, let alone dislike it, and said, "Thank you, Grandma Chi. Eat it quickly, stir it, otherwise the noodles will stick together and it won't taste good." Grandma Chi reminded, "It's so delicious, I haven't eaten such delicious food in many years. Not only because the food is good, but also because there is someone at the dinner table to accompany her to eat." She was the only one at the table before, and even though she was eating good food, she couldn't taste it. Yet He Tian ate the noodles with her head down. A large bowl of noodles soon entered He Tian's stomach. Sweat broke out on her forehead and her whole body felt warm. "My stomach is a little bulging, I'm full." Grandma Chi also smiled happily and walked around the yard to eat. He Tian took 2 pieces of wild boar meat weighing 3 kilograms each, wrapped them in oil paper and sent them to Secretary Chi's house. When He Tian arrived, Secretary Chi and Niu Daijin were drinking. Liang Hongyu greeted He Tian very enthusiastically and asked, "Has Tian eaten? If not, let's eat some together." After her daughter played with He Tian, she became much more cheerful. Liang Hongyu also liked He Tian very much. "Aunt Liang, I've already eaten. I got some wild boar meat, and I want to give some to Brother Daijin and Sister Lily to thank them for taking care of me," He Tian said. Secretary Chi's family also got pork, so He Tian doesn't plan to give it to Secretary Chi. "Tian, I can't have it, you can keep it and eat it," Niu Daijin refused. He had already taken He Tian's snacks and wild rabbits last time, so how could he get anything else now? Niu Daijin is not greedy and will not receive rewards for no merit. This is not easy for He Tian. He can no longer accept He Tian's kindness. The first update is here, and the second update is at 12 o'clock, the old time. Asking for votes. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 129. He Tian knew that Niu Daijin would refuse, and had already thought of reasons to convince Niu Daijin. "Brother Daijin, I was given 20 kilograms of pork. Grandma Chi and I couldn't eat that much, so I cut 2 small pieces. One piece weighs about 3 kilograms, one for you and one for Sister Lily. If nothing else, how about you?" It was the first time I rode a bicycle for dozens of miles. It was so tiring, and she was so busy with my affairs. Sister Lily was also there. I didn't even have to pay for meals. I kept that in mind. If you don't want the pork I gave you, I won't have the nerve to ask you for help if I need anything in the future, He Tian said sincerely, "and the relationship will be close if we are polite and come back. If you blindly accept help from others without giving, such a relationship will not last long, and in that case, He Tian will also feel bad about it." Liang Hongyu smiled at the side and said, "Daijin, take this pork, don't refuse. If you don't take it, sweet girl will not be happy. If you feel bad about it, Please take care of sweet girl more in the future, sending a letter, picking up a package, or asking you to deliver something from the county, just be diligent. This. New Dajan is in a dilemma and doesn't know what to do. Brother Dajan, take what Sister Tian Tian gave you, and give it to Sister Lily, Chi Xiao Yan said. Since Sister Tian Tian intends to make friends with Brother Dajan and Sister Lily, she is willing to say a few good words. Secretary Chi patted New Dajan on the shoulder and said, take what's given to you. We are all friends, and whatever the relationship is, it all depends on how we got along. You and Lily are good to the sweet girl, she knows it, and you have it. Of course I want to give you some good things. If you refuse, sweet girl feels really uncomfortable and thinks you are a too outsider. Yes, yes, he Tian Tian nodded repeatedly. What happened before made her realize that there was quite a lot of power behind New Dajan. That New Peng is New Dajan's uncle. In other places, it may not be a high position, but in Daowen County, it is a high official. As the saying goes, the county magistrate is not as good as the current manager. It is always beneficial to build a good relationship. Okay, I'll take it, New Dajan agreed and refused no longer. Seeing that New Dajan's men had something, he Tian Tian and Chi Xiao Yan whispered in the room. Did Brother Dajan say anything? He Tian Tian asked. Now New Dajan would look at Chi Xiao Yan no matter what he said. From this, it can be seen that New Dajan should not have feelings for Chi Xiao Yan. Chi Xiao Yan shook her head and said, I didn't say anything. I just talked to my parents, not me. Don't worry, you're still young, he Tian Tian persuaded. Chi Xiao Yan had just begun to have a love affair with New Dajan in her heart. New Dajan is obviously interested in Chi Xiao Yan, but why doesn't he dare to confess? But you said before that Brother Dajan is not too young. Chi Xiao Yan said quietly, accusing He Tian Tian of being inconsistent. He Tian Tian smiled coquettishly, remembering what she said to tease Chi Xiao Yan before. Isn't this what I am trying to do to comfort you? Tell me the truth, do you have a crush on New Dajan? These two people were walking slowly, and He Tian Tian felt anxious. The typical emperor is not in a hurry, but the eunuch is. The man is affectionate and the sister is interested. The two families were old acquaintances, so they knew each other well and were well matched, which was much better than the ignorant, ruthless, and ungrateful Li Mingkai. When Chi Xiao Yan heard this, her face turned red again, she was speechless and lowered her head. Oh, I'm so worried, He Tian Tian scratched her head. I am really not as anxious as the emperor, but I am getting angry just looking at you. If you are interested in New Dajan, I will risk my life for the happiness of my good friend. I'll give you a chance to test it and ask Brother Dajan. If you don't mean it, then I don't know anything and I won't ask again. Encouraged by He Tian Tian, Chi Xiao Yan finally plucked up the courage to raise her head and said, I have a crush on Brother Dajan. You're not very young, are you sure it's a relationship between a man and a woman, not a relationship between a brother and a sister? He Tian Tian asked again, making Chi Xiao Yan even more sure of her feelings. In this way, even if Li Mingkai looks like a flower, he can't move Chi Xiao Yan's heart. Chi Xiao Yan shook her lips and said, I'm sure. Besides, I'm not young anymore, I'm only 2 months younger than you. You already have a lover, why can't I understand? He Tian Tian was blocked by Chi Xiao Yan. Of course she was different from Chi Xiao Yan. Then do you want me to find out about Brother Dajan? He Tian Tian asked with a half smile. The little girl was so speechless that she also blocked Chi Xiao Yan. As expected, Chi Xiao Yan felt embarrassed, pulled He Tian's arm and swung it around, saying coquettishly, Sister Tian Tian. He Tian Tian was shaken so hard that she begged for mercy. Okay, let me help you for a while and be a matchmaker. Okay, look, don't say that I like Brother Dajan. Chi Xiao Yan has her own pride. If New Dajan didn't have such embarrassment towards her, she wouldn't have stalked him. How come I, a smart person like me, don't know this? He Tian said, just don't worry, I'm just asking if he likes you. Then, give him a heads up, Xiao Yan is good girl. There are many girls in the family. If he acts slowly, he will miss it. In this case, if he really likes you, he will confess his love to you shyly. It's done. Disgusting. Chi Xiao Yan said coquettishly, slapping He Tianatian's arm. Hearing the numb voice, He Tian rolled her eyes repeatedly and said, women are really duplicitous animals. They are obviously very happy in their hearts, but they say they are disgusting. Sister Tian, you are so bad. Chi Xiao Yan stomped her feet and almost wanted to find a hole to crawl into after what He Tian said. He Tian knew that Chi Xiao Yan was thin-skinned and couldn't continue talking, otherwise this girl would really become angry. By the way, I forgot to ask you an important question. You have to answer me properly, He Tian asked in a serious tone, which as expected, diverted Chi Xiao Yan's attention. He Tian suddenly realized that she was really bad, and Chi Xiao Yan was right. What's the question? We are so good, if you ask, I will answer you naturally, Chi Xiao Yan also said seriously, waiting for He Tianatian's question. We are here talking about how to spy on Brother Dajan, but I forgot to ask you, Secretary Chi and Aunt Liang, will they agree to you being together? He Tian pretended to frown. In fact, she could guess the answer. When Chi Xiao Yan heard about this issue, she felt confident and said, my parents both like Brother Dajan. My second brother and he have a lifelong friendship. As long as we are willing, my parents will agree. Second update, 6:20 plus, 6 p.m. Asking for votes. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 130. Chapter 130. It's wrong to speculate, monthly vote 6:20 plus. He Tian was pretending that something was wrong. Even when she returned home, she was still thinking about Chi Xiao Yan and Niu Dajan. Alas, I had no children in my previous life. After getting along with Chi Xiao Yan, why did she feel like she was choosing a son-in-law? I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm going to have dark circles under my eyes tomorrow if I don't sleep. The next day, He Tian heard the noise outside and got up quickly, saving some meat to stew braised pork, make dumplings, and use the rest to make bacon. The bacon lasts a long time and tastes great. Anyway, it was okay. He Tian was making delicious food at home and did not go to the animal husbandry team. Now there are Zhou Xiangrong, Sun Sihao, Qianchikan, and others in the livestock team. Even if He Tian doesn't have to go, they can still do that job well. Seeing that He Tian refused to leave, Grandma Chi-san made breakfast together, kneaded some dough and made dumplings. Grandma Chi-san built a simple low greenhouse by herself, which was about 3 square meters. She planted several rows of leeks, which are now grown enough to be cut and made into dumplings. There are only 2 people to eat, so you only need to prepare small portions of various things, which is also very fast. In less than an hour, hot leek and meat dumplings were served on the table. He Tianatian's nose twitched. It had been a long time since she had eaten such delicious dumplings. Grandma Chi, it's time to eat dumplings, He Tian said excitedly. Sit down while I peel 2 large cloves of garlic, mash them into minced garlic, and add some vinegar. Oops, it will taste even better. Grandma Chi saw He Tian looking like a greedy little cat, smiled lightly and said, I've already peeled it, you just mash it. He Tian made minced garlic, got the vinegar, and put it in 2 small bowls, one for each person. He Tian picked up a pair of chopsticks and took a bite of the dumpling first, saying, it smells, oh, so hot. Eat slowly, Grandma Chi-san said with a smile, no one is trying to compete with you, they are all here. Haha, it's so delicious. Grandma Chi, you should eat too. When I'm full, I'll go to the mountain to pick up pine nuts. I told you yesterday that I'd pick up some more, fry them, and send them to my family. He Tian said that others did not dare to go to the back mountain, but she had the help of the Snake King, so she was not afraid at all. You kid just can't sit still. All the good things over there have been picked up by people. If you want to pick up things, you have to go into the deep mountains and old forests. It's very dangerous there. When you encounter wild boars, it's not like yesterday. Such good luck. Grandma Chi-san doesn't want He Tian to take such a risk. If something happens, she could be seriously injured or even die. It's okay, Grandma Chi, I'm very powerful. He Tian said, I run fast, the wild boar can't catch up with me, and I can climb trees. If there is danger, I can climb up the tree. In the past, He Tian was most afraid of snakes, but now there is a Snake King on He Tianation's ankle. Now the snake is the one she is least afraid of. Hey, you won't listen to me, but you should be careful. Your parents only have you as their daughter. They would be so sad if she lost her. Grandma Chi-san said with emotion. After her son disappeared, she cried with tears every day. Washing my face, I couldn't sleep at night. The heart-piercing pain still hurts my heart even when I think about it now. After hearing this, He Tian knew that Grandma Chi-san was thinking of her son again. Yes, Grandma Chi, I know, so when I can protect myself, I will be filial to my parents, and Uncle Zo and Uncle Siang have a kind of medicinal powder. It is said that if you take it away from you, no animals will come close to it. He Tian made a few excuses to comfort Grandma Chi and told her not to think too much. Sure enough, after hearing what He Tian said, Grandma Chi-san hurriedly said, it's time to go up the mountain, so you have to ask that person for important points. If not, don't go up the mountain. It's winter, and those livestock have nothing to eat, and they will wander around of. I remember Grandma Chi. He Tian said, if I can't come back in time at noon, you can get something to eat by yourself. Don't take it seriously just because you are eating alone. Okay, feel free to go. Grandma Chi-san watched He Tian leave. He Tian, carrying her beloved little basket on her back, happily called Chi Xiaoyan to the animal husbandry team. Now Zoli and Xiangrong heard that He Tian was going to the back mountain, so they followed him without asking, carrying a bamboo basket on his back. I just went to pick up pine nuts today, not to hunt. He Tian said. The two of them were probably addicted to hunting and couldn't sit still. They might as well go out for a walk while doing those trivial things. Haha, we are also going to the mountains to show you something good. This is a bow I made myself. It is definitely useful for hunting rabbits and pheasants. Zoli said, let's go, you are lucky, maybe you can find prey. In fact, He Tian really wanted to get some wild rabbits, pheasants, and other game meat, and then let Niu Daijin bring them to Niu Lily to make some money. Now that someone is following him, He Tian can't do anything anymore, just pick up pine nuts. With the help of Zoli and Xiangrong, almost a basket was made by noon, and the three of them walked down the mountain talking and laughing. On the way, Zoli asked in a low voice, sweet girl, look, as long as we are not afraid of hard work, we can get a lot of good things in the mountains. We can't eat them all, can we sell them? He Tian was stunned and quickly tried to persuade her, Uncle Zo, it's wrong to speculate. Zoli did not regard He Tian as an outsider, and said directly in front of her, you are right, speculation is wrong, but we don't have winter clothes, we can't stay here all winter. We can't get out of the house to warm ourselves up. We're lucky, and our bodies can handle it. Brother Bai is a little older than us, and the persecution he suffered before was so severe. If we don't have cotton-padded jackets to keep out the cold, I guess this winter, it's very difficult. He Tian felt sour in her heart after hearing this. Hey, it was really hard for them. I have 8 or 9 pieces of leather there that can be used to make fur coats. I'll ask Aunt Lou for help some other time to see if I can make a fur coat for each of you, he Tian said. She couldn't use it and couldn't sell it for the time being. Then give it to them. That won't work. It's what you saved so hard. It might be of great use. If we want it, we'll hunt it ourselves. If we can't sell it, then we'll eat the meat and keep the skins to make clothes to get through this winter, Zolili said. Hey, I don't know what's going on at home now. They can't send letters or send them clothes now. Okay, after all, we share the same hardships. I can't use those things for the time being, so you can use them first. Besides, when it comes to hunting, you may not be able to catch it, and it is very dangerous. How about this? If we can tell from the animal tracks that there are more prey there, let's dig traps, he Tian suggested. Although this is a bit cumbersome, it is still safer. Moreover, in this way, when she cheated through the Snake King, she would not have to use herself as bait every time and be chased all over the mountain by the big wild boar. 620 plus arrives. Seeing that Kikai is so serious about updating, please quickly vote for Kikai. 5 updates every day on Saturdays and Sundays. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 131. Hetianation's thoughtfulness made Zoli and Xiangrong very happy and relieved. Since you said so, we will keep this feeling in our hearts, Xiangrong said. Now is not the time to be aloof, they need those rabbit skins. Although the winter here is not as dry and cold as in the north, it is a kind of wet and cold. A cold that can cut into the bones. With these rabbit skins, it can be greatly improved. They remembered this friendship. The trap you mentioned is a good idea. Anyway, we are fine. We can't sit still even if we hide in the house all day. From now on, we will hunt around with you, Zoli said. Let's go, it's time to eat. Now, let's go back and dig traps in the afternoon. He Tian rolled her eyes from an angle that they couldn't see. It seemed that if she wanted to get something secretly in the future, she would have to get it directly into the barrier space through the Snake King or go up the mountain in the middle of the night. The 3 of them went down the mountain, and He Tian and Chi Xiaoyan went home together. How are you studying? He Tian asked. Seeing that you are so happy, does Grandma Wang praise you? Chi Xiaoyan is a very simple girl. Whether she is happy or unhappy, it is all shown on her face. Yes, Chi Xiaoyan said. She said that I am very talented. If I keep working hard, I will definitely become an excellent singer in the future. If He Tian had said it, Chi Xiaoyan would have encouraged her as a good sister. But Professor Wang said it was different. After all, Professor Wang rarely praised others, and she was also a strict teacher. Everything she said was factual. Then come on, He Tian encouraged, you are famous, give me your autograph. He Tian unconsciously said that the first reaction of ordinary people when seeing celebrities in previous lives was not to marvel at whether they looked good or not, but to ask for an autograph first. If you like it, you can keep it, if you don't like it, you can sell it. Sign? Where to sign? Chi Xiaoyan was confused. She was just an ordinary rural girl of this era and didn't know these things. Signing means you are famous. I am your fan, and then you write your name on my clothes or in my notebook as a souvenir, He Tian explained. It seems like this, it was shown on TV in the previous life. When Chi Xiaoyan heard He Tian's explanation, her eyes became more misty. Don't fans eat? Why did Sister Tian become a fan? Chi Xiaoyan is very smart and quickly understood that the vermicelli that Sister Tian was talking about was definitely not the vermicelli that she usually eats. What is a fan? Also, I know what it means to write down names in a notebook, but why do you need to write names on clothes? Chi Xiaoyan asked in confusion. If the clothes are good, can they still be worn after writing on them? She couldn't understand anything Sister Tian Tian said. Are girls in rural areas so much worse than girls in the city? He Tian Tian was also stunned. Based on her understanding, the more she explained, the more questions she would have. Actually, it's nothing. You'll understand when you become a famous singer, He Tian Tian said, and finally decided not to tell Chi Xiaoyan, in case she asked more and more questions and she couldn't answer them. Okay then, seeing that He Tian Tian stopped talking, Chi Xiaoyan guessed that it wasn't something important, so she stopped asking. The two of them walked forward together, and Chi Xiaoyan suddenly stopped, covering her chest. Her face was pale, and there was sweat on her forehead. Xiaoyan, Xiaoyan, what's wrong with you? He Tian Tian hurriedly supported Chi Xiaoyan and asked, what's wrong with you? I was probably too happy and didn't notice. Chi Xiaoyan said weakly, her lips were bloodless, my medicine. Where is your medicine? He Tian Tian asked, putting Chi Xiaoyan on the side of the road and touching her pockets, but she couldn't find the medicine after searching through several pockets. Chi Xiaoyan's face became even uglier, and she stammered, I was, in the animal husbandry team, I forgot to take it. Xiaoyan, hold on, I'll carry you back to take medicine, He Tian Tian said quickly. Anyway, Chi Xiaoyan is not heavy, so she can trot while carrying her, and she will reach the animal husbandry team soon. If Chi Xiaoyan is left on the roadside, He Tian Tian will not worry about Chi Xiaoyan being alone, and it will take a long time to go back and forth. Chi Xiaoyan was speechless now. He Tian Tian didn't care so much. She just wanted to carry Chi Xiaoyan back to the animal husbandry team quickly and give Chi Xiaoyan medicine. At this moment, the voice of the Snake King came to He Tianation's ears, saying, if you continue to run forward, this little lady is dead. He Tian Tian stopped quickly. Yes, how could she forget the Snake King at such a critical moment? Snake King, please save Xiaoyan. He Tian Tian quickly put Chi Xiaoyan down and let her lie down, hoping that Snake King could save Chi Xiaoyan. She had told the Snake King before that the Snake King had promised to save Chi Xiaoyan. The Snake King knew that Chi Xiaoyan was very important to He Tian Tian, and the situation was urgent now, so it was not good for him to deliberately embarrass the Snake King. He said, my magic power can only help her die. If I want her to recover, I must. What is necessary? He Tian Tian was very dissatisfied. When it came to the key point, she actually stopped talking. Do you want to wait until the person is dead to talk about it? Besides, what's the point of waiting until the person is dead to talk about it? I must use your blood, the Snake King said calmly. Your blood is the source of my cultivation, and it has many wonderful uses. Ordinary people can still live as long as they are still alive, and can also restore health, and even better than ordinary people's bodies. Isn't it just blood? Didn't it say so in the public service announcement? Donating blood twice a year, 400 ml each time, will not have any impact on the body. Besides, the Snake King drinks so much blood every month, so why not give Chi Xiaoyan a little more? If Chi Xiaoyan can be restored to health, this little blood value will be worth it. How did this blood get to Chi Xiaoyan's mouth? He Tian Tian said calmly. Before going to Nanxi, her aunt had just left for a few days, and then provided some blood to the Snake King. Now give some to Chi Xiaoyan, it should be fine. I have been eating pretty well during this period. There is still a lot of meat and big bones at home. If I lose blood, I will go back and make soup to replenish my body. Bite your finger and she will suck it automatically, the Snake King said. Her blood is the best elixir. He Tian Tian quickly bit off her finger, put it in Chi Xiaoyan's mouth, and said softly, drink. Once you're full, you can recover. He Tian Tian smiled bitterly. She was reborn at the age of 18. Not only was she younger, but things around her were happening one after another and she was actively dealing with them. When she actively made friends with others, she received help from others, and she also wanted to repay these people who were sincere to her. 5 updates on the weekend. Spread the flowers. The time is 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Please vote. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 132. As the Snake King said, he Tian put his fingers in Chi Xiao Yan's mouth, and Chi Xiao Yan sucked instinctively, gulping, gulping, swallowing the thick and sweet blood one mouthful after another. He Tian could feel the blood in her body flowing out. For a while, Chi Xiao Yan kept drinking and still didn't wake up, but he Tian was a little dizzy. Then how much blood do I need to contribute? He Tian asked, feeling exhausted and dizzy. When she gets enough elixir, she won't suck it anymore, the Snake King said blankly, swallowing. It would be better if the holy blood was given to it. In order to resist the idea of rushing out to have a drink, the Snake King turned his head and did not look outside. Although he Tian was a little nervous, she knew that the Snake King was even more nervous about her body and life, and would never watch her die. Even though she was dizzy now, she probably hadn't reached her limit yet, so she was not afraid and continued to put her fingers in Chi Xiao Yan's mouth and continue sucking Chi Xiao Yan. Faint. My eyes are black and I keep seeing stars. Chi Xiao Yan fainted. If she fainted again, the 2 big girls would be lying on the roadside, which would be shocking. If some leprous hooligans come to harass you, will you be sick to death after you wake up? He Tian forced herself to cheer up. She had to be awake and not faint. I don't know how much time passed, but when he Tian could hardly open her eyes, she found that Chi Xiao Yan had relaxed and stopped sucking her fingers. He Tian quickly retracted her finger, opened her eyes, and tried to stop the bleeding on her finger, but found that the wound on her finger was healing at a speed that could be seen with the naked eye. This must be the work of the Snake King. As long as the bleeding stopped, he Tian sat leaning against the tree on the roadside, holding Chi Xiao Yan's hand with her other hand, closing her eyes to rest. Before Chi Xiao Yan wakes up, she must stay awake. After a while, Chi Xiao Yan woke up leisurely, took a few deep breaths, and found that she usually felt as uncomfortable as if a big stone was pressing on her chest, but today she felt extremely relaxed and had strength in her body. Chi Xiao Yan sat up and moved her hands and feet so flexibly and forcefully that for a moment Chi Xiao Yan thought she was in her dream. I pinched myself and it hurt so much that I realized it was not a dream. Look at He Tian's pale face next to her. It was obvious that she was sick just now, not Sister Tian. Regardless of the changes in her body, Chi Xiao Yan quickly shouted, Sister Tian, Sister Tian. He Tian finally woke up and looked at Chi Xiao Yan, whose face had improved a lot, and her eyes were more agile and bright than before. This is all due to my blood donation. But He Tian would not tell anyone else about such an outrageous thing. She didn't want to be dragged out for dissection, and she didn't want others to know, otherwise she would become someone else's human medicine. I'm fine. I just fell down and fainted when I was carrying you, He Tian said. By the way, you haven't taken your medicine yet. Let's go to the animal husbandry team. Chi Xiao Yan saw that He Tian was dirty and looked like she had fallen. I see that you are not in good condition, so I will send you back first and ask my mother to come and get the medicine. Anyway, I still have some at home. Let's go home first, Chi Xiao Yan said, her voice stronger than usual. Seeing that Chi Xiao Yan's energy was much better than before, He Tian believed the Snake King's words that her blood could be called a miracle medicine. With Chi Xiao Yan's help, He Tian stood up and moved her muscles so that she could move around on her own. However, I am still a little top-heavy and my legs are flabby. Sister Tian, Are you really okay? Chi Xiaoyan asked again. Why did she feel that Sister Tian Tian was more seriously ill than she had been before? Chi Xiaoyan was not surprised that she fainted and woke up again without taking medicine. She had had such an experience before. But she didn't know that this time it was more serious than before. If He Tian Tian hadn't come to the rescue, she would be dead now. It's okay, I just fell a little bit and didn't get a good rest during this period, so I'm weak, He Tian Tian explained. You go home, I can go back by myself. Seeing that He Tianation's face was pale and her cheeks were no longer as rosy as before, Chi Xiaoyan firmly shook her head and said, No, I want to send you back. At Chi Xiaoyan's insistence, He Tian Tian was sent home. Grandma Chi San was shocked when she saw He Tian Tian like this, but was slightly relieved after hearing Chi Xiaoyan's explanation. Third Grandma, look at Sister Tian Tian, I'll ask Dr. Wang from Hujiakan to come over and have a look, Chi Xiaoyan said, and without waiting for He Tian Tian to refuse, she ran out of Third Grandma Chi's house. Grandma Chi San smiled and said, Xiaoyan is a nice girl. It's no wonder that you are so kind to her. I even saved her life and was very nice to her. But since they are good friends, she doesn't regret it? It is impossible for a person to live alone. If you can have a few like-minded and good friends in your life, a close lover, healthy and safe parents, and lovely children, then your life will be perfect. Hey, this is just her wish. I don't know how many of it will come true in this life. He Tian Tian was lying on the bed, and Grandma Chi San came in with a bowl of water and said, My child, drink some water first to moisten your throat. He Tian Tian held the bowl tremblingly and took a few sips of water. It was fine when I went out in the morning. Why did something like this happen just after I went out? Grandma Chi San asked, with a solemn look on her face. This sweet girl has finally adapted to the life in Kijia village and can live in peace and contentment. We're here, don't catch any strange diseases. That's easy to say, don't get sick if you have anything, don't have money if you don't have anything. When Chi Xiaoyan was ill, He Tian Tian accidentally fell while carrying Chi Xiaoyan on her back and felt weak all over. When a person is sick, there are usually signs. It is very rare to fall down and become weak like this without any warning. Where did you fall? Grandma Chi San asked, having an unspoken guess in her mind. On the path in the woods, He Tian Tian explained, hoping that this would not arouse the suspicion of Grandma Chi San. She is now out of strength and looks really serious. When she heard it was a grove, Grandma Chi San's eyes flickered. It is indeed there. He must have encountered something dirty. There was still straw paper at home. She cut some paper money and burned it at night. She hoped that those dirty things would stop pestering the sweet girl after they got the money.